Hello and welcome, Reds. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet again another instant post-match reaction show. For the audio listeners on Spotify, welcome. Drop a follow if you don't mind dropping a 5-star review on Spotify. It massively does help out. Or if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or whatnot, hello, welcome. Drop a follow, drop a subscribe. For the audio listeners, I've got two very esteemed guests on the channel. They are part of the furniture on the channel anyway at Anfield Road TV. It is Kev from Spider LFC and Irish Red 11, Nigel as well. A big win for Liverpool away from home against the Blades. Wasn't easy, but Liverpool got the result over the line. And as you can see from the title and the thumbnail as well of the video, Liverpool have gone 4 points clear of Manchester City. I know we're only 15 games in, but we know how important that 4-point gap hopefully, and that gap does grow for Liverpool in the next couple of weeks anyway. In terms of the agenda tonight, we'll speak about, obviously, the goal from Virgil van Dijk and Queven Keller, Endo's man-of-the-match performance as well. I'm just mentioning, obviously, some of these results. It wasn't the most amazing performance in every element, but who's really bothered? I don't think any of us are. The results come at the end of the May, all that counts, and tonight we got the results over the line. And we'll speak about the Villa performance as well, what that means for us, what that means for the other teams round us at the top of the Premier League. And we'll recap on the Premier League table as well and a couple of the fixtures to come as well. But Kev, we'll go straight into you, mate, in terms of happy with that performance from Liverpool tonight?
Look, we were dominant. At one point, it was 83-17 was at the peak of our dominance. It pretty much had an average of 80 to 20% possession based. Just didn't do enough in the final third for me. I don't think we were rocking the boat enough up front and made it a bit easy. But look, we completely controlled the game. I think Sheffield United had one opportunity that Queven Keller made a great save from, and I can't complain really. It's a tough away performance at a newly promoted club with, Salah was off form for me. So doing the usual thing where he runs back and lays it off to somebody and then goes. But on the ball, he's been pretty poor in recent weeks for me. He hasn't been beating players like he normally would. It kind of always, that's the thing with Salah. Salah can turn off for 3 or 4 games, and then all of a sudden he could just have a worldly next 20. It's just the way it is. But look, Dominic Szoboszlai, he had a very good game. Coached his way through it, but near the end, then he really started turning up when he moved to that left-hand side. Gakpo actually got better when he moved from up front to left-hand side, but then he was taken off. Nunez, again, great working back to take that ball off the Sheffield United player, then to turn it and find Dom inside the box for the second goal. Fantastic.
I think it's summarised Nunez's career so far at Liverpool, Kev, that passage of play for that second goal, really. There was a moment in that second half which we can all remember. The ball was threaded through to him by Trent. Lovely, delicious ball in behind the back line of the Blades, and didn't really capitalise on it, mate. But as you alluded to, the willingness and it made up that wasn't deemed to have been a foul, because if you're eradicating fouls of that nature in modern day football, then football is well and truly going down the pan for me.
Yeah, no, it's
what's getting on you? We just want
what's getting on my nerves? No, we did. Yeah, no. I love it. Look, the result is a result away from home. We were dominant, everything like that. I wish we would have seen a lot more speed and creativity. For me, and I don't complain that much about Liverpool. I love getting the result over. I'm happy. I'm Mr. Happy all the time when it comes to it. But I want to see a little bit more ingenuity. I thought that Trent's passing from the outside of the foot and to create chances for people up front was fantastic again tonight. You dropped into that midfield. When are we going to see him in that midfield? If you're ever going to rest Dom, just stick Trent in there and bang. Like, we know I have Endo in the DM, by the way, who man of the match for me by a country mile, and him and Verge were just fantastic. Verge just. I thought everybody was worried about Verge after the injury and the whole lot, but Verge looked like old Verge, made everything look effortless tonight. I watched the commentator on Premier Sports tonight, right? I think it was him and Sue Smith. I don't know who he was. And he was complaining about Verge not getting across to the player as he was moving in on the left-hand side of the box to get a shot. But I was thinking, does this guy ever watch Virgil van Dijk? Virgil van Dijk doesn't track the player until the last second, so he'll track into his position and then he'll cut him off. And he does that, and that's what Verge does in his prime. But he can do it in 2 strides. That's the difference. Verge, when he wasn't at his peak and he got injured, he could twist, he turn. He didn't have much strength in the legs. Tonight, he moved into his position, took 2 steps over, blocked the man off, and that was it done. Trent did the same again, covering off as well tonight. Did really well covering off. More like a right-hand sided central defender. Joe Gomez had an okay game. His passing was terrible at the start of the game.
I think he recovered it though, Kevin.
He recovered, yeah, he did recover it. And that's what I'm saying. Joe Gomez is one of my most favourite improved players this season. He'd been my next favourite improved player next to Verge if Verge wasn't so damn good. So they've stepped up. Look, they've done a thing. I like McAllister, man, in the free roll on that left-hand side. He was able to do the ankle roll pretty well.
Yeah, that's the position he does play, Kev, as well. Yeah. We'll get to Nigel's thoughts as well, Kev. We'll go back on.
Sorry, night. I've been ranting away there for a while.
Yeah,
while watching football at the same time.
It's all good, lad. Nigel, welcome, mate. Hope you're well, mate. Massive thank you for jumping in the podcast as well, mate. But Kev's touched on quite a large section of points, which we'll rehash on certain elements of that as well, mate. But go to in terms of one of those points Kev alluded to, I felt, to answer what Kev's just said in relation to him not being as happy, I think all of us, we want more from this Liverpool team. But I think we are coming into this, well, we are in December now currently as it stands, and there's going to be games every single weekend. I get that we were playing quite reserved, but I understand Kev's frustration, which was quite evident from there anyway. And we'd like to be smashing teams 5 and 6-0, but we've all got to be realistic. We've seen McAllister come off tonight with a potential injury, but looks like he was smiling at the end of the game. Doesn't look too bad, in all honesty. But Nigel, anything that you want to go over in terms of? I want to go straight into Endo's performance there, Nigel, in all honesty, because as Kev's alluded to before, absolutely amazing, mate. And
it was brilliant.
Speak about Endo, because he deserves his flowers well and truly.
Just to go back what Kev said there about the level of performance and stuff like that. Now, it was a tough game against a new manager who went out to be as physical as he possibly could with this absolute clown of a referee as well, who wasn't going to book any of their players for, I don't know why. But anyway, the way this game was, I don't know how many times I'm after seeing the highlights of the game the other day against Fulham. I mean, it was amazing. It really was. You'll watch it time and time again. I'm not sure you'd sit down too long and watch that game tonight.
Yeah.
Time after time after time. The goals, yeah, fine, and a couple of other little bits, but not the whole thing again. Endo, absolutely unbelievable. What we want all the time. We're crying out for it. People are complaining. We need a 6. We need a 6. Well, there he is tonight. And absolutely stark for us there tonight. He did the simple things, broke up play, passed the ball when he had to pass it, helped out where he had to help out, and can get on the end of something on the edge of the box sometimes. So yeah, I thought all positive. Virgil van Dijk looks amazing.
Yeah, he's back to his best. We'll get to a couple of comments as well, lads, and we'll get back to Virgil van Dijk. But yeah, I'd concur with both of you lads as well. Endo probably took overs by surprise in the summer. It's not our £100 million DM that we wanted, but for especially what we've seen tonight, getting an early yellow card in that first half, really handled himself extremely well. And I think the fact that he was left on in terms of showed the trust in which Jurgen Klopp does give for the lads anyway, but it's exactly what we needed, boys, and everyone listening anyway. It's he can be our destroyer in the middle of the park, and not just in terms of his ball recoveries tonight, in terms of we spoke about wanting those midfielders to try and break those final third passes, drilling them into the penalty area as well, and he's done that extremely well, and hopefully that shut up quite a lot of haters for Endo, really. But tell you what, he'll put in a performance like he has done tonight, and it's not satisfactory for their things anyway. They'll look to something to complain about anyway. But we've just won 2-0. So we'll get to all the comments as well. Reds, let me know if you've got any questions for Kev or Nigel as well. Do get them in anyway. And for the audio listeners, looks like chat is saying this evening in the live comments that Joel Matip potentially might be an ACL.
It's an ACL,
yeah. So
that confirmed.
Yeah, so that's him out for the season. Well, out for the season.
Gone?
Yeah,
that's him gone.
Yeah, so
probably his last game, which is very sad.
Yeah. Liverpool legends for all of us lads and everyone.
He's been great for us. A free transfer. I said it today and to a chat to a few people. Set up the second goal for Divock Origi in Madrid. So he deserves legendary status just for that and his adventures alone. You know what I mean? No one's gone on an adventure like that since Bilbo Baggins. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. We'll get to all the live comments as well. For all the audio listeners, these shows do go out live anyway, but get a couple of the community involved as well. Jack 11 FIFA has said, I thought Trent was unbelievable tonight. He looked like he was in such a good headspace, and he had his ass out as well tonight. Yeah. Go ahead, builder's crack or whatever you want to call it. Might be different.
I think that's done for a bet.
Yeah. What is it? He's just moonied the whole of Amazon Prime, but up to Reds. But yeah, thriving with the vice captaincy and consistent success in the new role, both with the Reds and England as well. Absolutely spot on there, Jack. Good, massive thank you for tuning in. Shows just from Wiggs, big up Wiggs. Shows we now need to buy a centre back in January. Interesting one as well, Kev, is that we will have Nat Phillips back in January. I know it won't suffice a lot of us Reds, but it's interesting that I think the football club, would you say, had a bit of 2020 vision and anticipated certain injuries in the centre-back department?
Yeah, I think so, because Matt, look, Canete is he'll play 10, 12 games, get an injury, out for 2 or 3. Matip could get injured and go, no, look what's after happening to Matip. It's clear that we need a centre-back. Kwanzaa, for me, is the backup left centre-back for the future. I don't think we need a left centre-back anymore. I think he's fantastic. I think he can come in and learn from Verge and do the job well. I'd also like to see him being tried next to Verge and see how he gets on. I mean, if you're playing centre-back, you should be able to be capable of playing both left and right centre-back. I think the only limited centre-backs that you ever see are centre-backs that are just left-footed, whereas the majority of right-footed centre-backs are both feet. If you've ever noticed that. I don't know if you've noticed much about footballers, but most footballers that are right-footed can also hit a ball with their left, whereas not many footballers that are left-footed hit a ball with their right. Bar Mo Salah. Probably the only one I've ever seen to be able to curl one into the top corner with his right foot. So there's not too many of them out there, so it's a tough one. But look, at the end of the day, I would like to see Kwanzaa being tried over on that side. I would also like to see us going into the market for a centre-back. There's a few of them out there, man. There's a few of them that are available that you could easily take up. Even if you need a backup, you could probably steal the likes of an Anderson or something from Crystal Palace or somebody like that can come in and just fill the gap role if Phillips is going to move on. Somebody who's doing really well this season and the top of their game, and that you can just get virtually cheap enough. But it's more likely you're going to see maybe a loan player coming in. I mean, if all of these cities and your teams now are going to be able to loan from their other clubs, I have no idea how that makes any sense to anybody but people that are just in power. Can I just get that point over the line again? How have the Premier League not vetoed the fact that these owners are now
other multi-club owners
are just making it about their ownership now and not about the clubs that are involved. So some team that's doing really well in like the Bundesliga or the Swiss League or something like that are now going to have their best players robbed to go to fill the gap for players that are just injured for a while, and then they're going to be tossed back to the club who then could have won a league but ends up like down in 6th or something because they've lost their best player. It's disgusting. So yeah, for me, it's It's nuts. But anyway, we get off that topic. But it's a shame about Joel Matip, man. It's a shame the way he's going to finish his Liverpool career. It'd be great if he could come back at Wolves in the last game of the season and hobble across the pitch for 5 minutes. Hobble across the pitch for 5 minutes. We can all give him a clap and say good luck, But because I don't see another contract envisioned for him, and I don't. If it was me, I know Cole was after signing a new deal at Chelsea. I think he would have been perfect on the clap, but only for his left-hand sided. We don't need him now.
We've already got our Caldwell.
We have already got Kwanzaa, and I think he's far superior. Would have been great to see somebody similar, but on the right-hand side is a major problem, man. And it's just getting the right kind of guys to come in there that we need. Nat Phillips can actually kind of go in there and play that role, but just no speed in him. He can do the job, but there's no speed in him. And I think his time of helping us out in the league is done and dusted. He had that moment in his, when was it, 2020? Is it 2021? Sorry, when him and Reece helped us out like massively, and we'll always be appreciative of that. I think that's what got him his lengthy contract that he's in now, and not ever like sold on. But yeah, look. Hopefully,
I was going to say we've had much worse centre halves of the football.
Yeah, poor Davies didn't even get a kick of a football on the pitch, and I know what we spent on him. But look, I think we'll be in the window in January. Endo's there now. The thing is, because Endo's in such good form now, and he's doing well, I think the priority's gone off of the DM for the moment onto the centre back and maybe a left back. Because we don't know how Robertson's going to come back. So for me, my priority would be a right centre back and a left back coming in.
100% there, Kev. As Weeks has said on the live chat, we've had to stop gaps in centre backs for years now. It's more or less concurring with what Kev's alluded to there. It's time we sorted the issue as well. And big up there, chat. He's absolutely smashing it this evening, chat. Apologies if I don't read out all your comments. I'll try my best. To tonight. This game shows this from Russell Stubley. Big up, matey, that we need right wing depth who actually changes a game. Centre back is crucial as well. We'll get on to Villa a bit later in the episode anyway, but the fact that they brought in Diaby for Bailey as well just shows the quality they have got in certain attacking positions of the pitch. Kev, Nigel alluded to it. Oh, that's you, Nigel, because I think Kev might have touched on it before. But Virgil van Dijk, back to his best. I think all of us, when we done the episodes last year, we knew the disappointing performances that Virgil did have. But I think would you agree, Nigel or chat? Let us know that Virgil van Dijk, as Kev alluded to, the crucial interceptions that he made this evening against Sheffield, they almost looked like it was the old Virgil van Dijk back. We've seen good performances. Back. Yeah, the good performances that we've seen this season, but it's the confidence it gives, not just the players, but in terms of the fans as well. Kev, what have you seen there, Kev? For the audio listeners, Kev is looking into the wilderness with such disappointment.
Match of the day is onto my left, and I'm looking at the best 25 centre backs in the world on my right. So yeah, I'm staying ahead of the game. But look, so for Virgil, I said he was back a while. People weren't sus of him being back for a while. They said, "Oh, yeah, he's much better this season. He's the most improved player on the pitch." And I said, actually, Joe Gomez is probably the second most improved player this season, coming back from stepping up from how bad he was. I mean, he was getting slated up against poor Real Madrid there, going back a season or so ago. And Virg, there was a couple of times, as I mentioned it earlier, that he drifted. I don't know if any of you were watching on Premier Sports tonight, and that absolute dope of commentator. He doesn't like Virgil van Dijk.
No, I
can tell you that now. This guy doesn't like Virgil van Dijk at all, because he turned around. He wanted to complain about Virgil van Dijk going too central as he was running. Right now, I can see what his point is, because Virgil van Dijk of the last season or so after the injury, since the almost quadruple.
A lot of it's down to jealousy, I think, Kev.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you listen to Rio Ferdinand on commentary for BTR for the time.
Absolutely.
And he put in a man of the match performance, was it last season? And he's interviewing Van Dijk, and he's like, oh, yeah, don't want to mention it, but continue, Kev. Sorry, that. I just think...
No, you're grand. No, you're grand. It is. There's a lot of it to do with Chelsea. There's a lot of it to do with hope as well from other rival fans that they want to see him do terrible, like, you know, and if they can just make it virtually, maybe it'll happen physically. That's the same with most of these fan bases. But look, Verge tonight, there was a point when he was running back towards his goal. There was a guy that was being played in through to the left-hand side, got in closer to the box, and as he was getting into the box, Verge took 1.5 steps across and blocked him straight away. Watched what his feet were doing, right? And then as he knew he'd have to shift onto his left, as he touched it with the right, he went bang, bang, across, done. He was dealt with, cleared away, done and dusted. This fella goes, I don't like how Virgil let him get in that far. Virgil didn't have a choice to let him get in that far, by the way, because we were getting counter-attacked. But the fact that he kept his position in the middle and then moved straight across to counter him off, outstanding. There was a part as well a few times where he stepped in, looked like a player was going through on goal, effortlessly stepped in, took the ball off and turned around and casually walked away with it. Just like there was not even a sweat broken. He looked like the Verge of that we know and love. So, and you know, he's going to go from strength to strength. It looks like he's strong again, he's quick again, and his positional sense is fantastic.
Just on him being back to his best, I think the midfield rebuild has helped him absolutely massively.
Yeah. Having a DM in front of him as well.
Yeah, I think we have the building blocks in front of him now. We didn't have them last year, and he was having to do too much. He was having to cover. He was having to push up into a midfield a little bit more. Kanate did it a couple of times earlier in the season. He just stepped up into the midfield, but they're not having to do that as much now. So he can concentrate on his own area, and we've got the kind of holding midfield player in there now. Before, we were having to get the lads to step up, or having a centre midfield converted into a centre half. So I just think having a settled team and legs in the middle of the field has helped Virgil considerably as well. Yeah, and he's repaying it, and the captaincy as well, a major thing.
Yeah, 100% there, mate. I'm just having a quick look. I'll try and, in terms of the fixtures for Liverpool, we'll quickly have a little look at this as well, chat. And for the audio listeners, we're pulling the Liverpool fixtures up as it stands as well. So in terms of off the back of tonight's game as well, Reds, obviously another 12:30 kickoff. For anyone
the 15th this year.
Yeah.
No, it's the 17th. 17th.
Yeah. Yeah, for anyone that didn't watch the game or has been in work or whatnot coming in late, Jurgen Klopp was doing an interview post-game on Amazon Prime, and he acted quite angrily, and which is understandable because the presenter tried to get a bit of clickbait out of Jurgen Klopp, because I think Klopp turned around and said, you can say that, you can question the TV and scheduling, but it was almost that he was like goading Klopp in to try and say something. And Klopp said, if I say something out of tone or out of line or what is deemed by the authorities of football in England, then I get a slap on the wrist, a 50-grand fine and a 2-match suspension as well. So it's, Jurgen, I love the way in which he was switched on. But in terms of going into, obviously, looking at the fixtures, we've got Palace away this coming Saturday, and then we've got Royal Union away from home, European fixture, which we can now rest. You'd anticipate a lot of the young lads coming, but the big game on Sunday the 17th is at home against Manchester United, and then it's like, and then after the quarterfinals, the EFL Cup, we've got West Ham at home in the EFL Cup, and then we've got Arsenal. So, Kev, it's the games are coming thick and fast, and I think in terms of, I'll quickly look at Arsenal's fixtures, just quickly get them up anyway, because I'm pretty sure Arsenal's next couple
Villa, City, and us.
Yeah, so they got Villa away there on Saturday, then
Brighton.
And then got Brighton, us, and then West Ham, and then Fulham. So it's going to be one of them, Kev. We'll go into obviously the big talking points now. We're back in cutting it back to the Premier League. Liverpool have gone 4 points clear of Manchester City. We know it's a long game, but 4 points is, as in recent years, we know how big 4-point gap can be on City.
Yeah, massive. Like, if you're thinking the games that we've got coming up, if we still hold a 4-point gap on City after we played Arsenal, then you know you're doing something right. So I'll let you know. I'll see you, because I'm more for West Ham and Arsenal anyway. So I'll be at those games. So I'll see you after the West Ham game, And but like have to go. And the last time we played, I think Crystal Palace at the 12:30 kickoff when they were at home was a 7-0.
7-0, yeah, when we were saying last night, so.
7-0, wasn't it? So I mean, I'd expect kind of the same. I mean, Roy's doing a great effort there in the whole up. They lost at home to Bournemouth tonight. 2-0. You know, we should be going there with confidence. We should be starting Núñez. We should be putting him on the score. So let him score early. You know, just play through. But I think if you started Núñez tonight with Endo in the middle of the park, I think he's getting so much service from the midfield. I think with Gakpo, he drops back a bit like Bobby, and I don't think it suits those type of players. So, and Gakpo was a great player. Gakpo actually became 10 times better when he went out to the left.
More natural game, innit?
Yeah, that's what he like. I've said it. I think his only bad game, I said, on the left hand side was the first game against Chelsea this season. He didn't get back enough to help Robertson, and Reece James and Sterling were just toying with Robertson on that right hand side, playing it inside and outside of him. And I was just saying, if you know, if we had somebody else there, maybe even if Gravenberchen at that stage, you probably would have seen a better bit of protection in front of Robertson, really. Even, you know, Curtis Jones, these people, he was injured at the time. So, for me, I want to see, if I want to go forward, I want to see more. We need more from Núñez, lads. He was outstanding to do what he's doing on the ball. We need more from Núñez. And it's such a telling season from now, because this is his second season. You know, he had a better goal record ratio than Suarez when he first started here. But now it's the time that changed for Suarez, you know. So we need that from him now. We need him to step up. We need him to start scoring the goals. We know he can score. We need him to stop worrying about what the next move. Just hit it. Like tonight, he had a chance on. Now it was a tough chance, but he should be able to slot it by the keeper into the other side of the corner, you know. But look, to win back that ball and then to play in Dominic with that pass was phenomenal. It's a great vision, great play, great one. He did it all himself, and Dom just had an easy chance and on goal. So, look, he'll come good. He just needs to finish.
He's and that's that great point there, Kev. Obviously, I think when you look at Liverpool's squad currently, I think one of the biggest enigmas in terms of Liverpool's attacking players for me personally, and for one aspect that I think I do put Liverpool ahead of certain other teams in the title race, is Diogo Jota. If you can come back and actually stay fit, the amount of 2-1 goals or 1-0 win in goals he does provide in this team, he's our most natural goal scorer. But it takes him 5 or 6 games to get up to speed, doesn't it, Nigel? I think we've spoke about this in the past.
Well, apparently he's back running.
Yeah, so which is good. It's good positive, really. In terms of, we've mentioned Virgil van Dijk's stellar performance, Endo's performance as well. In terms of, do you think, as we will see, if we've had a little look, as Kev alluded to, the future fixtures to come, I personally, when I look at the game tonight, when I finished my live stream, I watched the last 10 minutes of that Manchester City Villa game tonight. I think if Liverpool just focus on what we've been doing, focus on ourselves, I personally feel that the strength of the Premier League will massively underpin City's performance this season. Don't get me wrong, they might win it in May, but I think tonight showed yet again, I was so impressed by the way Villa performed. Not everyone can do what Villa can do, given the players that they've got at their disposal. But we've just got to focus on ourselves, Nigel, haven't we, in terms of next week's getting past Christmas, getting past December, and just focusing, as Kev alluded to, the attitude needs to be right and how Liverpool do apply themselves from a week-to-week basis.
I was going to say exactly that, just what you said. One game at a time, concentrate on ourselves. I don't care about anybody else. Just one at a time, keep winning. Everything else will take care of itself. You know, if we can just keep trundling out the wins, even if they're all like that for the rest of the season, at the end of the season we won't be buying the club DVD at the end of the season, but we might have a trophy.
Tottenham have quite a lot of them, as we know, Chas. DVDs. In terms of the Christmas, they finished third in the 2-horse race. Remember that season? Was it when Leicester won the league? Lads, as well, chat, get your last couple of comments in as well. In terms of the Premier League, we'll summarise on the final closing points for the audio listeners about the Premier League as well. Kev, is this one of the most strongest Premier League campaigns that we've had in many of a year?
Yeah, you kind of took the words over my mouth there, Jack, because you were talking about not everybody can do what Villa does, but Newcastle have been doing it. Yeah. Arsenal have been doing it. Arsenal have beaten City as well this season, and you've Villa beating them now, taking over the spot as well. I mean, that was a battle for third place right there, and Villa came out on top. And as dominant as City can be in games and stuff like that, from what I watched in the game tonight, which was from when it was halftime in the Liverpool game, and I actually missed the first 5 or 6 minutes of the Liverpool game in the second half because I forgot to switch over. And the chat, me and chat were just like talking away about it and what was going on, and I was like, Villa are so good here. And then the second half, I watched the last half an hour of the game in there, and they were outstanding. They completely, you'd swear you were watching City in a Villa jersey, and City looked like Sheffield United. The crap Sheffield United. We kind of got a better one tonight with the bounce on the new manager, but they looked like them. Or it was nuts. They looked like Accrington Stanley City tonight. Who would I? And
did I say, Kev, or anyone? Sorry, chat. If there's any City fan. Well, not sorry. Villa are a bigger team than Manchester City as a football club.
As a football club, yeah.
They'd have said it. Sorry.
I said it in my chat tonight as well, Jack. Exactly what you just said there. Yeah. I turned around and I goes, "It's great to see an historical and legendary proper football club beating money."
And City are always what they were, a yo-yo club with money.
Yeah. But it was the same. It was the same when I seen Forest coming up. It's great to see an old club coming up like that. A team that's been there before. It's great. Even Luton Town when they came up, especially except for their fans, it was great to see them coming up, and eventually they didn't know how to conduct themselves as a fan base and
in the stands.
Yeah. So because they're being pretty scummy at the moment. So, yeah. But hopefully they get reprimanded for that, and a slap on the wrist against the club will catch them for that. But at the end of the day, City were completely outplayed, outmanned. But I said it earlier on, Jack. If you remember the last few episodes I was on with you, right? I said that City disappeared after 30 minutes in the first half in 90% of the games that they've played. Now, I know where they are in the league and what they're doing, and they can nick wins. But lately, in the last month and a half, the 2 months, they've disappeared after 30 minutes. They might have won games by then, but they're gone. Second half, they're non-existent.
Oh,
they're not there.
And I think one or both of you have said this as well. Rodri was suspended tonight.
Yeah. Rodri's a massive lad.
It's such difficult when you do play Manchester City, isn't it, as well? The teams do, as you allude to there, Kev, get to the 60th minute, they're either 2-3-0 down, and they do switch off. City, if you're a City fan, probably City fans would admit, they are such a boring team to watch. They keep a lot of possession, but I think even Pep Guardiola was on record this week at saying Liverpool are a much better enjoying side, the way in which we play. Yes, it's a lot more risky, and hence why, obviously, that boring football has won City those league titles. But what happens when you bend the rules and break the rules? But sod them. Liverpool.
It's going to come down, Jack. It's going to come down. If City do drop off this season, and the title is going to be a race between us and Arsenal, it'll come down to Arsenal being the fresher side, and it's probably more in form over the last season or so.
Immature side as well.
Yeah. Against an experienced side, experienced captains, experienced vice captains, and it'll come down to show at the end of the day who's going to have the better defense or something like that, And I think we can take it at the end of the Arsenal have a tendency to drop off.
It comes down to us having a better goalkeeper, lads.
Yeah.
And a more natural goal scorer maybe as well. If Mo and Darwin can kick it into gear, because Arsenal haven't got a proper 20 goal a season striker.
Speaking of Mo as well, I'd be disappointed with Mo for the last. I know he's coming up to 200 games or whatever that, but his inability to beat a player on the dribble lately is annoying me a little bit. He needs to start being able to step by players or run at players, or at least I know Luis Diaz can run around like a headless chicken, but at least there's an effort there to pass 2 or 3 players when he's doing it. More at the moment is then doing a shimmy, a sidestep, losing the ball, but then he'll come up with a goal or 2, and that's just been more lately. So I don't really care as long as he's scoring the goals. But once he passes that 200 mark, he'll go again. He'll score another 20 really fast straight away. And that's what happens. Moke tends to have this like little bobble just before he gets to these big milestones for a game or two. He wants to score in front of Anfield. He doesn't want his 200 goal to be away in Sheffield somewhere. You know, he would have assisted. If he had a chance, he was staying inside. Is somebody coming in? Is somebody coming in? Is somebody coming in? I'll pass it to you. I'll pass it to you. My goal's going to be at home. I'm waiting for United.
It's got to be memorable, Annie.
Yeah. It's going to be against United at home.
Oh yeah.
In the thing, he'll score his 200 goal. He'll take his top off. I'll put a bet on him to take his top off and get booked and score a goal against United at any time. And yeah, we'll take that. So yeah.
You don't want to chip in there, Nigel?
Yeah, just a quick comment on just something I just thought of there. Apparently, the Sheffield United fans were singing something about Scousers tonight, and Jack Robinson turned around to him and said, "I'm a Scouser."
Yeah.
So it's just you know.
Very stereotypical. I said that on my live stream, mate. I said it's the modern day football fan that lives on Twitter and doesn't actually understand their own players. And good on Robinson. This is what Kev. That's why I always get confused with
Robertson. Because Jack Robinson. I know.
Our youngest ever player. Apparently.
I said on my stream tonight. I said this is exactly the guy that Jack is always calling out.
Our youngest ever player. Yes.
He was, yeah. Jack was great. He good player. And he did well tonight. He's a bit manhandled a bit by Verge at times in the goal, but he was great. But look, the Scousers and the away fans had a great response to say, "You're going down. See you later." You can say what you want. You're going down. You're going down.
Blue something. Anyway, with the
it's after 9 o'clock, Jack.
No, but for the Spotify listeners,
Spotify.
You got to be out. But man of the match quickly concluding. Anyway, Nigel.
Wataru Endo.
Go over top three.
Wataru Endo, Virgil van Dijk, and Dominic Szoboszlai.
Nice one. Kev, your top three?
Yeah, Wataru Endo, Virgil van Dijk, and I could say Szoboszlai because he got the second goal. But I'm going to say Trent.
Yeah. It's good. I'm made up, mate. As Presser said there, in terms of his one as well. He's gone with Virgil, Szoboszlai second, Endo third. But lads, absolutely made up. We're absolutely buzzing. We're flying at this moment in time, Reds. But as we've said tonight, it's the boring, managerial, cliche thing to say. But we're just going to focus on ourselves. Keep on ticking these games off. Keep on collecting 3 points. And just focus on ourselves. Let the rest of them battle amongst each other. But I tell you what a game that's going to be. Liverpool versus Arsenal.
Has anybody not even mentioned the fact that Fulham scored 8 goals in 2 games?
Oh yeah, full. Marco Silva, he's not too bad of a manager, is he?
It's not too bad of a manager. He scored 8 goals in 2 games, man, and they've got a lot of teams that are around us coming up as well.
Yeah,
fairly soon. So, we got past them. Hopefully, nobody else does. That'd be great.
Hopefully, Sean Dyche doesn't put up a red Christmas tree. We know what managers have been like in the past. But we'll get to the lads as well in the live chat. We've gone with Endo, Trent, and Virgil. Go ahead,
just quickly. Before he went to Everton, Dyche was bald, wasn't he? Or did the Everton fans make him shave his red hair?
No, he was more like a fuzzy.
Yeah,
he was more like how would you call it? Shaved head. He was like a 2 all round.
Yeah, it was red, but it's completely bald now.
He's bald now. Yeah.
I'm not getting a bad haircut because my hairline's going all the way.
Yeah, I can't say either.
Yeah, my hairline's going all the way to
mine has been McDonald's since I was about 13.
Yeah,
I think never got back off forward.
Yeah, I think my hairline might be offside as well at this point in time. So, but Kev, please for the audio listeners as well, or for everyone tuning in. Do shout out where everyone can find it, please, mate. And a massive thank you for coming on. What's Nigel pointing at?
We're on match of the day now.
Oh, are we? Right, we'll quickly summarise now. Kev, massive thank you for coming on, mate. And where can we find you?
Well, my OnlyFans is jokes. So you'll find me on Irish Spider Guy. For anything that's to do with gaming, you'll find me on Twitch at Irish Spider Guy. You'll find me on YouTube at Irish Spider Guy. But you'll find me at Spider on Facebook. For football-related stuff, you'll find me at Spider LFC on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. So, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, Kev doesn't dance on that. Nigel, massive thank you for coming on, mate. You've got just Twitter in it, Irish Reds 11.
Yep.
But a massive thank you for coming on, mate. Massive thank you to Kev. But most importantly, everyone that is listening, taking the time out this evening, you have absolutely smashed it. There's been that many of you in. For obviously the Spotify listeners, we do. I was doing a do dance or whatever. I'll be dancing tonight. But yeah, we do the live on YouTube and Facebook. But if you're wanting to pop in, but for the Spotify listeners, everyone that is watching on YouTube, all these episodes are going out on Spotify, because I know a lot of you do like to listen to your audio podcasts. I know not everyone can watch, so yeah.
Did you know, don't you know?
Yeah, do. But Reds, it's been a long episode, a good episode. Liverpool are absolutely flying in the December period. And let's hope it continues, Reds.
Down to my Christmas jumper.
There's me, Kev, and Nigel. And most importantly, everyone in the comments tonight, have a fantastic rest of your evening or morning, wherever you are watching around the world. And is right, Villa. Unai's tricky Clarets have done the business tonight. Happy days. But up the Reds, and see you very soon for another episode. To that.